Why modern men are weak and what to do about it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Albert, the holistic male. By the way, that's kind of the brand that I've recently established for myself. Just thought of it the other day. I was like, the holistic male. Yeah, I'll stick with that. So yeah, as the video title says, why the modern masculine is weak. We're going to be diving into that in today's discussion. And the reason I've been kind of called to talk about this recently, and really moved my my focus with my content on social media towards masculinity, towards becoming the best version of yourself as a man, things along those nature, is because I've personally had to go on this personal mastery quest, so to say, the self-development, self-journey over the past few years to really understand what it means to be a man in the world. And I really believe that in this modern world where we don't really, unless we're actually looking out for those resources, we're slowly conditioned to forget what that means. So there's a couple of reasons that come to mind when I think about the why factor of why we're weak. And even that statement to say that modern men are weak, it can trigger a lot of different emotions in the body. Am I modern? am I a weak man? Do I signify any significance of this? And that's really a clear indication that we start building this egoical shield of, I got it all figured out. I have nothing else to learn. These people just don't get it. All of these things and this sort of mindset is ultimately a form of coping mechanism. And in my past few videos, I've had several videos in the past year that I've made on the concept of NoFap, of semen retention. We're not going to dive into that too much into this video. But in general, this is something that in these videos I was consistently talking about how when you're so overwhelmed with the emotional aspects of guiding yourself as a man in the world, then especially when you don't feel like you have a resource for understanding where to go, you find the coping the easy way out. Because, well, why wouldn't you, right? Everyone else around you is normalizing maybe going out to smoke some weed, or just drinking every night, hooking up with as many girls as you can, simping, Tinder swiping, eating shitty foods, not working out, not being a leader in a relationship. This is really what comes to mind when I think of that's the alpha right there. This is what comes to mind when I think of what it means to embody non-masculine traits or non-aligned traits with who we truly are. And so what I think the solution or the direction to take that's a much healthier approach to understanding all of this is to understand that we have the ability to define purpose. And what does it really mean to define purpose as a man is to really understand that there are fundamental traits that you personally carry, whether you know them or not, whether they're conscious or unconscious, that are traits of deep value, traits of deep leadership, of being a role model, being somebody who can provide and consistently add and contribute greatness to the world, to build a legacy of yourself. and not necessarily just for yourself, but those around you. And that's kind of where the beauty of masculinity stems from. And so when everything is focused on a social condition, social status game where your masculinity is defined based on what you're told is masculine. So things like I was mentioning earlier, how many women you sleep with, or how much money you have, how many high status friends you have. These are great things, of course. We all as men appreciate these things, and I'm not necessarily advocating against them. But ultimately, when we're slaves to these social constructs, as I'm mentioning, meaning that our worth is solely dependent on them, then when there's any sort of gap or any sort of disconnection between those areas where you feel like you're not fully embodying every aspect of them, because to be honest, it's damn near impossible to be in a consistent state of feeling like you got it all in terms of the outside materialistic world. So understanding that, and understanding that ultimately it is up to us to embody the warrior of the mind, the warrior of ourselves. And I speak about this concept pretty frequently, but what do I mean by this? And to really put it into simple terms, or for you to understand this in just this video form, what this means is, instead of being a slave to these constructs of what really represents your self-worth and your self-identity, understanding who you fundamentally are at your core, and understanding that everything else is a byproduct of that. You are quite literally a co-creator of your own reality. And when you're able to understand this, then you're not so reactive to the neediness aspect of life, because neediness in terms of levels of energy is not so. Neediness is simply signifying that you lack something within yourself that requires you to go on a search for something external. I was seeing this thing on Instagram earlier about something Jordan Peterson said. He was just talking about how rejection from women, in terms of, say you get rejected by a woman, that stems from the same depth of pain that you can, as a man, can experience, as you ultimately understanding that you're not living up to your potential. You're not living up to who you can be at the best version of yourself. So what does the best version of yourself look like? Why would it even matter to find strength in the world? Because when there's so many distractions and so much misguidance, and really just a lack of information of understanding how to navigate difficult emotions, difficult times, constantly overcoming challenges. That's another key aspect, is understanding that nothing's ever going to change. Nothing will change. Nothing will change except your ability to change. And when you really understand that, that's when you can really take full responsibility for crafting your reality. And by doing that, you can start becoming aware of the emotions that are guiding you day to day as a man. Because when you're unable to express and really allow the free flow of emotions to move through the body and transmute them into something greater, whether it's creation or purpose or abundance, or building great relationships, great friendships, then that's when you fall into the traps of the delusions. And that's what ultimately makes us weak. So, just as a exercise practice, I'd like you to, for the next few days or next few hours, whatever you're capable of resonating with ultimately, start thinking about the areas that you continuously suppress, the areas within yourself that you continuously suppress and run away from. And when you're aware of that, then start thinking about how to ultimately transmute them. And what I mean by transmute them is, where can you ultimately place these challenges and these difficulties in terms of something that is aligned with your higher self. So I'll leave you guys with that. Hope this discussion resonated with some of you, and I will see you all in the next video. Stay healthy, stay well, take care. Peace.